Okay, today is February 10th and we are starting 3.3 modeling with functions. And here is your essential question. Put me on pause while you type it in the yellow box. You'll notice there are two vocab words. The first one is independent variable, and the second one is dependent variable. And dependent. Please write these down and take a few seconds to copy the definitions, and then I'll give you my definitions. Okay, so it told you that the independent variable is the input and the dependent variable is the output. Oops, forgot a letter there. Okay, and I take you back to my little machine, the one that I kind of drew, and I said, well, this machine right here is going to take in input. Okay, and the input goes in it, and then what comes out is the output. And then something happens in here that we call a function. And yet we still don't know what it is. But I think the example I used was that if we put in the number 5 and something happens to 5 and it comes out as 10, well, then we have a table of values of 5 and 10. Then I think we also dropped in another variable, and I don't remember what number it was, but maybe it was the number 3. 3 went into the machine, something happened to it, and what came out was 15. And again, we're not sure what happened to it, but something happened to it, and it doesn't matter what it was. Anytime we stick in the 3, we're going to get 15. Anytime we stick in the 5, we're going to get 10. So I cannot possibly stick in the 5 and get 15 because it's supposed to give me a 10. Okay, so here's how it works. Independent variables are in charge. Dependent variables are depending on the independent variable happening. Kind of like with you guys are children. You have either parents or guardians. The parents and guardians are in charge of everything that you need, so they're supposed to provide everything for you, so you depend on them. That's kind of how it works. Okay, so let's take a look at Explore 1, identify the dependent and independent variables. Take a second to read it starts with the first 3 words, in the winter. Put me on pause and finish reading it, and then come back. Okay, so in the winter, more electricity is used when the outside temperature goes down, and less is used when the outside temperature rises. Okay, so for some of you, that would, of course, be the heat. You heat your house when it gets colder, and when it's warmer outside, you stop heating your house, and you don't use as much electricity. So, what is the dependent variable for question A? And again, the dependent variable means unless something affects it, it won't change. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds. Well, the dependent variable is the amount of electricity. Okay, because the amount of electricity you're going to pay for depends on the what? Depends on the temperature. If it gets colder, you turn on the heat, you use more electricity. If it gets warmer, you turn off the heat and you use less electricity. So for question B, what is the dependent variable and what is the independent variable? So for question B, the dependent variable is amount of electricity, and the independent is the temperature. All right, so now we move to question C. For question C, you're going to have to read it and think about what depends on what. Say, I'm going to draw a little line here, and I'm going to say, okay, so now we're working on question C. So go ahead and read it. Okay, and let's analyze this. The cost of shipping a package depends on its weight. And LBS is indication for pounds. So what if the package weighs nothing? How much do you pay? Well, technically, if the package weighs nothing, you pay nothing because you haven't shipped anything, because otherwise it would have weighed something. Okay, so hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. So here we go. The what depends on the what. Now remember, no package, you don't pay anything. Okay, so here we go. The cost depends on the weight. So now you have your answer for question D. Dependent variable, independent variable. Okay, so now we got D taken care of. So let's move on to question E. So question E, you're going to have to read it. Okay, the faster Tom walks, the quicker he gets home. Okay, now think of the word faster. Okay, if you walk faster, time goes by quicker. If you walk slower, then time goes by longer. So faster is your time it takes. So now if you walk quicker, then you're going to get home sooner. So let's say quicker is your speed. How fast you walk. If you think about this, if I were to tell you to run to the front of the Curtright campus as fast as you can, and I had a stopwatch, well, naturally it would take you less time to get there. But what if I said, okay, you don't get to run until I hit the stopwatch? Well, if I never hit the stopwatch, you've never gone anywhere. So let's now think about which one is the dependent variable. So here we go. The blank depends on the blank. Okay, so here we go. The time, I was trying to find a nice color I haven't used, depends on the speed. Because in this example, if I told you
might recognize this.
If I told you to run as fast as you can, well, if you don't run, you don't go anywhere, so I don't have to set the timer. So that's why time depends on speed. Okay, so that takes care of the first page. The discussions are always yours. So read the given situation where time is a dependent variable, distance is the independent variable. Try to think about that logically, and then for question 2, explore 1, explain how you know the amount of electricity is not the independent variable. All right, I'm going to move on to the next page in the next video.